Good morning, everybody, or afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is. Thanks for coming back. Mr. Mack here, and we are going to go on and read chapter 12. Now, I want you to think back to chapter 11. Chapter 11 ended. The boys were racing in the van, Ian driving. Barley had just begun. He started, the spell started to wear off. Big hand, big torso, big. Suddenly, it was all big Barley back. And Dad, of course, was in the back. And a police officer saw them speed by, put on his lights, and gave chase, which is what police officers do. You're speeding, they'll come and give you a ticket. They'll chase you. And those lights mean, when you see a police officer in back of you, pull over. My prediction was that they're going to pull over, because that is the right thing to do, and Ian is driving. They're going to pull over, and the driver, or the police officer, is going to be Colt, Colt Bronco, their stepfather, I guess. That was my prediction. Think about what your prediction was, because we're going to find out if we were right. Before we get started, I want to ask you, remember theme. What is theme? Theme is when there's a lesson learned. Theme, like inference and a lot of other things, are something that we use all the time in life. We may not call it a theme, but people use theme for parties, like what's the party going to be about, kind of thing. You have a birthday party, a superhero birthday party, or a Harry Potter birthday party. That's kind of a theme. In a story, it would be the lesson, and in a story, the lesson, the theme, would involve the main character. And you can come up with words that could be, or phrases, or known lessons, like in Aesop's Tortoise and the Hare, that slow and steady wins the race. Very famous theme, very famous lesson. Great lesson for students. Teachers love that. It's one of my favorites. Working on an assignment, you're working on anything. Slow and steady wins the race. In other words, take your time. So, what is the lesson learned so far in the story? And if we think about the main character, it seems like the main characters are both Ian and Barley, but really it starts out with Ian, and the main action is happening with Ian. And what is the theme for the story so far? Themes are changeable. Themes, when we get to the end of the book, we're going to come up with some other themes. And notice I made that plural. There can be more than one theme for any given story or any given chapter. I believe that one lesson we've learned so far, is to believe in yourself. The one thing Ian was trying to do in the beginning, Ian was kind of awkward and shy and quiet, and the opposite of his brother, and he didn't believe in himself that much. But as time went on, he was kind of thrown into situations. He was thrown into being the magic user. He was thrown into driving, and he did it. He's done it. He may not realize it now, but he's beginning to stand on his own 2 feet, believe in himself a little bit. Another theme might be, it's okay to be afraid. It is okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid in life, with us, with characters. It's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be afraid. A lot of people think the word hero or something, a hero is somebody who's unafraid. That isn't the definition of a hero. There's a burning building and somebody says, I'll run in there and get that parakeet. And if they're not afraid at all, that's a little bit of a crazy person, a little bit. But someone who is going and save the life of that parakeet, and they're absolutely terrified, but they do it anyway, that's a hero. And I know that's an extreme, running into a burning building. But it's okay to be afraid. You've just got to do it anyway. Don't ever let fear stop you from moving forward. And even though Ian's been kind of nervous and afraid of things in life and people, it hasn't stopped him from moving forward. Right now, they're moving forward. They're in a van that Ian's driving, heading on a quest. So those are good themes, Something else real quick, because I'm only going to read chapter 12 today. I want to talk about compare and contrast. And, I said this before, but I hope everything comes up straightforward on there. Compare and contrast. Compare is when things are alike. Contrast is when things are different. And we do that every day too. We compare things, we contrast things. How are things alike? How is this person like that person? How are they different? In a story, it happens all the time too. Every story you can compare and contrast it. If we just made it simple for right now, let's just compare Ian and Barley. Compare and contrast. How are they different? Well, we said it earlier. Ian is kind of shy. He's awkward. He's quiet. Where Barley is bold. He's big. He's boisterous. He's out there. He's unafraid. How are they the same? Well, they're both headed on the same quest. They're both brothers. They both love Dad. So comparing and contrast is simple. And a lot of times, I drew a sloppy one here, but you know what this thing is. It's used for comparing and contrast, and it makes life a little bit easier. It's a Venn diagram. And you've got two circles, and they're intersected here. In the center, you will place things. If we were to put Ian is this circle, Barley is this circle. So here we would put the differences. Ian is shy, and he's awkward, and he's quiet. Here, Barley is bold, and he's boisterous, and he's unafraid. And in the center, we would put how they're the same, where the circles intersect like that. That their brothers are on a quest. They love Dad. And using a Venn diagram keeps things organized. It's a great graphic organizer. When you're writing, it's a great graphic organizer, especially when you're coming up with characters, But anyway, so that's that for that. Anyway, we're going to continue with Onward. We're going to go right on to chapter 12. And I'm excited because it ended in a very exciting way. The ending of a great chapter is always a hook to keep you going for the next one. A book starts out, or a chapter starts out with a hook to snag you, to keep you reading, and then it usually ends with a hook to keep you going. Page turner, All right, chapter 12. Barley, now back to his regular size, big Barley's now back, climbed into the passenger seat while Ian gained control of the vehicle. Ian is doing a great job managing this van. So Ian is still driving. "Oh, Shantar's Talon, cops!" said Ian, staring at the flashing lights behind him. "There's cops, Ian." "Oh, pull over," said Barley. "I can't. I don't have a license, Barley." Barley reached into his pocket and he screamed, "Ah!" And he pulled out a teeny tiny little piece of leather. "My wallet's still tiny." Ian slowed the van and moved to the shoulder of the road. Doing the right thing, he's pulling over. Officer Spectre, who's a Cyclops, and Officer Gore, who's a satyr, emerged from the police car. Cyclops has one eye. A satyr is like Grover from the Percy Jackson series, the legs of a goat, the body of a human. So it isn't, my prediction was wrong, it isn't Colt, but whatever, it's fine. Let's keep going. "Step out of the vehicle," ordered Officer Spectre through a speaker. And as the boys looked at each other, trying to figure out what to do, Dad, remember when they were racing at the end of chapter 11, the back of the van door popped open. Dad wandered around the back and toward the open door. The officers looked at each other as they watched Dad stumble out of the van. Remember, Dad still has his fake torso and body and arms and head and sunglasses. So, "Oh, you have a long night there, buddy?" asked Officer Gore. The boys crouched down next to the passenger door to stay hidden as they watched the officers approach Dad. So the officers don't know anything about Ian and Barley yet. According to Gore and Spectre, according to the cops, they're dealing with Dad. "Sir, I'm going to ask you to walk this here straight line," said Officer Spectre. "They're going to take Dad," Ian whispered, horrified. And Barley thought for a moment. "Oh, I got it. the disguise spell. You can disguise yourself to be anyone you want. And he used his finger to draw the spell on the side of his dirty van. This is how you do it, and these are the words, and these are what you got to do. But what if I mess it up again? Ian said. Oh, according to the spell, disguising yourself is a lie, so you must tell the truth to get by. And as long as you don't tell a lie, the spell will be fine. Ian, the spell will be fine. Just don't lie. Oh, okay. Who are we going to be? Who are we going to disguise ourselves as? Barley smiled. He had a great idea. Moments later, there was a dim flash behind the van and a faint magical crackling, followed by a I wonder who they disguised themselves as. The spell had worked. The boys were magically masked by a ghost-like shell of Colt. Ian wore the front part of the illusion while Barley had the back. Remember, Colt is a centaur, which means he's part human and part horse. So Ian has the human part and Colt has the horse butt part. I think that's funny. As Ian impersonated Colt, the illusion worked perfectly. The two officers, Gore and Spectre, they saw and heard Colt. Colt appeared to be a little bit nervous. Well, what seems to be the problem here, fellow police folk? The officers were surprised to see him. Were you in that van? Spectre asked. Affirmative, he said, still sounding a little bit unsure. And I will. I'll take full responsibility for that fella right there. You can just, release him over to me. Barley whispered up to Ian. Hey, Ian, I want to be the front. I'm tired of being the butt. No way, Ian said, whispering. Bronco, I thought you were working on the other side of town, asked Gore. I changed my mind, Ian, pretending to be Colt, answered. And just then, Colt's right horse ear vanished. Now, why did his horse ear vanish? It vanished because Ian told a lie. Remember, to keep the spell going, you can't lie. So because he lied, the horse ear went away. Ian realized he had slipped up. His lie had caused a small part of his disguise to disappear. He quickly turned to hide the missing ear from the officers. Something wrong? Asked Officer Spectre, suspicious. Just a little bit of a neck cramp, said Colt. And then his left hand disappeared. Ian quickly bent his arm to hide that missing body part, contorting himself. The spell is disappearing, Ian whispered. You have to stop lying. Answer every question with a question. That'll help, Barley said. But exactly what are you doing out here? Asked Spectre. Ian stammered as he carefully thought about how he should respond, because he didn't want to tell another lie. What I'm doing out here? What are any of us doing out here? Whoa, said Officer Gore, nodding in deep thought. I never thought about it like that. Nice, whispered Barley, impressed. With all due respect, you didn't answer my question, Colt. Well, we were just exercising some driver's education drills for, Ian. That's what we were doing, the fake Colt said. Who is Ian? Asked Spectre. Officer Gore pointed back to Dad. Oh, Ian, is that Laurel's kid? And of course now the officers are thinking that Dad is Ian, Laurel's son. Ian is Laurel's kid? Nothing disappeared because at least he didn't lie, said Colt. Your stepson was swerving all over the road, said Officer Spector. Yeah, well, that guy's not all there today, he said, pointing to Dad. And you know, that's true. Dad isn't all there today. It's only his legs, so he didn't lie. They looked back to see Dad slumped over the hood of the police car. Yeah, he does seem a little bit off, said Officer Spector. Actually, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not super great in this kind of a situation. And I'm starting to freak out a little bit. I'm all sweaty and weird, and I don't know what to say, and I just feel like I can't get anything right, that I'm a total weirdo, and Spector approached and suddenly calmed him down. Whoa, Colt. Hold on. I think I know just what's going on here. You do? Yeah. It's not easy being a new parent. My girlfriend's daughter got me pulling my hair out. The officers chuckled and waved them on. Keep working hard or hardly working, the fake Colt said. And then he let out a horsey laugh as the boys worked together to push Dad back into the van. Now that was a good Colt, whispered Barley. I don't envy you, Bronco, said Gore. That Lightfoot kid is a handful, let me tell you, said Gore. You know, I'm going to have to disagree with you there, said Colt. I think Ian's a pretty stand-up guy. Good kid. No, not him. The older one, the big one, said Gore. That statement stopped Ian in his tracks. I mean, the guy's a screw-up. You can't say you don't disagree, said Colt. Right? I don't, said Ian. Colt's right leg then vanished. Ian quickly bent his leg behind the other to hide it. Barley couldn't believe what he was seeing. I mean, okay, well, I have to get going. Gotta get Ian home. Colt's other ear vanished, and he quickly began to shuffle back to the van. He keeps this up, nothing's gonna be left. I mean, gotta go, guys, I'm late for work. And as he rambled on nervously, telling lie after lie, the Colt illusion continued to fall away. The brothers had just managed to slip inside the van before the spell completely vanished. Oh, man, Bronco's losing it, said Officer Gore, while Spector suspiciously watched the van drive away. So Gore is buying the whole thing, but Officer Spector, he knows something's not right. That's why I never got married. Yup. Old Gore can't be tied down, not me, Spector flipped on his flashlight and examined Colt's hoof prints in the dirt. Following them, she saw that they transformed into shoe prints. Well, of course they did, because the illusion, the magic was going away. Hoof prints to shoe prints. Spector now knows something is up. This is Spector. He got on the radio. Keep saying she. He got on the radio. Can you put me through to Officer Colt Bronco right now? And that's how Chapter 12 ends. Ha! Whew. Well, Gore, I'm sure, is a good officer, but he's clueless. Spector, good police officer. Smells something fishy. Something's not right. Well, our prediction from 11, my prediction was not entirely correct. However, Colt did show up. Just wasn't the real Colt. And the police officers ended up being two other police officers, two other characters we just met. They did a good job. The boys did a good job. Ian did a great job trying to not lie. I mean, when you're already pretending to be someone and someone asks you a question and you answer as the person then you're going to lie. So anyway, it was a funny scene, I'm sure, to watch. I could see it in my head. that's something to do too with stories. Visualize it. Whenever I read, I see things in my head like a movie. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed chapter 12. I certainly did. I can't wait to get on to chapter 13. Lucky 13. And we're getting ready to come up to Easter break now. I'm going to try to get chapter 13 on here. Today's Wednesday when I'm posting this. And Good Friday is this Friday. So the newsletters and everything will end so that we can have a nice spring break and Easter vacation. The district was kind and loving enough to give us. But I hope you have a wonderful holiday. If you're traveling, be safe. I don't know that anyone is now, considering what's still happening. But happy Easter, happy holiday to all of you out there. Take good care. Stay clean. Keep your hands clean. Keep them away from your eyes, your nose, and your mouth. Have fun. Be creative. Do a play. Have a book theater. Do whatever. And visit Google Classroom. Both myself and Mrs. Treadwell, and anyone else watching this, your teachers too. I'm sure they have a Google Classroom set up. There's some cool stuff on there. Click on stuff and see what you want to do. Take care. I wish you all the best. Let me find that button. There it is. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.